Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to today's HDI webinar, Machine Learning and Analytics, Taking Service Management and Support to the Next Level. Today's webinar is brought to you by Micro Focus on the web at microfocus.com, and there's a link right in the Attachments tab on your BrightTalk window. HDI is where technical support professionals belong, and we'd like to remind you not to miss the new Service Management World Conference, October 15th through 17th in Orlando, Florida. There's a link in the Attachments tab on your window. You can connect with HDI on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on our members-only site, HDI Connect. I'm Roy Atkinson, HDI's senior writer and analyst, and I have just a few housekeeping announcements before we begin. If you are experiencing any technical problems, please refresh your browser. It is absolutely the best thing you can do. The slides will advance automatically throughout the presentation. You can participate in the question and answer session by asking questions at any time during the webcast. They'll be answered during the Q&A session toward the end of the webcast. And you ask those questions on the Questions tab. You can download the slides from today's presentation by opening the Attachments tab on your BrightTalk screen, and I see that some people have already done that. Terrific. The slides will advance automatically, as I mentioned. And today's webinar will be available on demand shortly after the completion of this live webcast, and you'll receive an email reminder to let you know it's available. You'll probably get that tomorrow morning. With me today are Vesna Sarajic, who has over 20 years of experience working with IT executives and practitioners to take advantage of automated IT management. Vesna writes and speaks on these topics regularly and is also a regular contributor to the Micro Focus ITSM blog. At Micro Focus, she is responsible for go-to-market and enablement of the Micro Focus ITOM software products. She has an MS in computer science from the University of Ljubljana in Slovenia. And Steve Anderson, who is a senior product manager at Micro Focus, focused on service management and automation, SMAX, and he has worked in enterprise software for IT service management for a number of years in R&D and product management. And take it away, Vesna. We're listening to you.
Thank you, Roy, very much. And from my side, hello, everyone. Here is the agenda for today. In the beginning, I will talk a little bit what's AI, machine learning, what are the differences. We'll then remind everyone that we are every day using machine learning, probably that you are not even aware of that. We'll then go through 5 key use cases in ITSM that are enabled by machine learning. And after that, my colleague Steve, he will walk you through our offering called SMAX. So here I put just a few of the fascinating insights in machine learning market and also some of the forecasts. So you can see, for example, that machine learning patents grew at 34% in the last 4 or 5 years. And that they are third fastest growing category of all patents granted. Then also IDC is predicting that the spend will rise drastically in the next few years. So basically most of companies are investing in machine learning. And right now, artificial intelligence and machine learning are probably most prevalent building block in any kind of software that's been built. Very boldly, also Gartner is predicting that in less than 2 years from today, a quarter of all customer service operations will use virtual agents. And this is something I will talk more in this webinar because it's very, very relevant and important for us in ITSM. And then the last point from Forrester talks in general about importance of analytics as the field of analyzing data to improve decision making. And in general, we all know machine learning and analytics, they really have same goal, to derive insights from data to enable smarter automation, reduce or even eliminate human input. And just to bring everyone on the same page, I thought to maybe try to clarify what we will be talking today, what's the AI, what's machine learning, and so on. And by no means I'm going now to definitely tell what's the definition of AI. Different scientists or authors, they always define it a little bit differently, but all of them consider AI to be a collection of different technologies that can be brought together to enable machines to act with what appears to be human-like level of intelligence. Some of the examples of systems based on AI, I put them here. That means we all know them, or at least we've heard of them. These are the virtual personal assistants, and these software applications, they can understand natural language voice commands, and they can also complete some tasks for us people. And now machine learning is simply a subset of AI and enables computers to learn from data, from experience, without. That means we don't need to explicitly program these machines. Machine learning is utilizing analytics to provide predictions, prescriptions, but definitely it goes beyond predictive analytics capabilities or much beyond the big data capabilities. Machine learning programs learn with experience from processing data, and one of the key benefits is that they can easily identify patterns in a very large amounts of data. And I will talk later about this because, as you know, we in ITSM, we are dealing with incidents, potentially with lots of incidents, so this is something that's then very, very important for us. And then deep learning is then again subset of machine learning that uses simply neural networks to teach or to learn. And deep learning does extremely well when there is a lots of data, and therefore deep learning, for example, can even, we can say, drastically improve accuracy of computer vision, speech, facial recognition. Now, so far, I haven't really noticed that in ITSM there is a big need for deep learning. Typically, we don't have such vast amount of data. So it's really machine learning, so to speak, is enough for us right now in ITSM. So machine learning is really what's bringing practice at the next level by simply processing all data, all structured or unstructured data, making the correlations, connections, also then learning from the experience. Yeah, because ITSM has enough data for machine learning, and then in the rest, that means of this webinar, both Steve and I, we will be looking more into machine learning. In general, the promise of machine learning, for whichever use cases, is cost saving, freeing up people from repetitive routine tasks, improving also user experience. So these are some key points. And now, if we stay still a little bit on this theoretical part of what machine learning is, so one of the key skills, if I can say, of machine learning is that it can learn from raw data, and then also can learn from experiences. And you can see here some of the capabilities. Like, for example, one of the capability enabled by machine learning can be predictive systems that can forecast what's likely to happen. It can then identify risks and opportunities for business. It supports much greater efficiency and gives really immersive experiences. Then there is the whole topic of natural language processing that can comprehend text and speech, but we also, with machine learning, we can now understand and respond to human sentiments, emotions as well, which is really amazing. Machine vision and so on. Robotics, of course, we will find machine learning even in a mechanical robotics or robots, which are typically we find them in manufacturing, or in a software type of robots, which we call bots. Optimizing search, information retrieval, and so on and so on. And what will be maybe important maybe to mention, because later on when we go into use cases, I'm going to mention this. How machine can learn? We can maybe say there are three main methods that most of analysts and scientists would agree. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So supervised learning means we have to provide both input to define the desired output, but then also during the learning or that training period, we need to give the feedback to machine how good accuracy is. And anyway, the longer these algorithms are running, the machine learning will be providing more and more accurately results. So I'll give you just one example. If the input would be time of the year and interest rates, machine will then give us or will predict housing prices. Unsupervised learning means that now algorithm explores input data without being given an explicit output variable. For example, if we would need to explore customer demographic data to identify patterns. Now patterns, and if you can see how data are here represented almost like a clusters, you will see that there is one very, very powerful use case for us in ITSM based on clustering and pattern recognition. And then there is this reinforcement learning. I mean, of course, now it is things are getting more and more complex. So this type is applied if we don't have a lot of training data, or if we can't clearly define ideal end state, or if the only way is to learn about environment is to interact with that. So examples, for example, would be systems to optimize the trading strategies for trading portfolios, or to optimize driving behavior of self-driving cars, or balance the load of electricity grids depending on the demand, or depending whether it's night or day, and stuff like that. But typically, right now I'm not aware that in ITSM for our use cases that we need reinforcement learning, but these things tend to change now, I would say, almost monthly. And right, so I put some examples here. Well, we know machine learning has become so pervasive that most of us use it daily we don't really even notice that. And immediately when we go and search the web, or if we are simply consuming weather reports, if you are using speech recognition on our mobile phones, and simply here are some of the examples. We all know that we are getting these automatic product recommendations or content recommendations on the social media. Lots of usage in marketing use cases, like location-based advertising, customer segmentation, forecasting demand, fraud detection, big topic across the board, and many other use cases. Manufacturing, well, I put the list is short but extremely powerful, very bold: connected cars, inventory inspection, predictive maintenance, and autonomous vehicles. And right, so here I thought to include a separate slide only to maybe for 10 seconds that we think about machine learning application in customer service, because this is now very related and relevant for us in ITSM. So simply what machine learning in customer service now allowed is to provide this very personalized customer service. Or the companies in this business, they can now really offer fast and relevant and personalized experiences. But the second biggest benefit is the automatic classification of tickets. And this is exactly a use case that we can well implement in ITSM as well. And then, by the way, of course, machine learning can classify, categorize social media posts. This is maybe more in a marketing domain, and so companies can do a higher quality customer experience through all the channels how they are connecting with their customers. Okay, and let's now switch gears and talk a little bit more about ITSM and how machine learning can really be applied in ITSM. So let's now first think about what are the typical service desk issues, and more from that point of view where machine learning could help us. So, if we would typically talk to some end user, maybe still in many companies, and you can maybe later tell me whether I'm right, would say, well, the whole that process, how to submit a ticket is very annoying. They're asking me too many questions. I don't even know all that information. I can't provide. So what really users, what we as the consumers, what we expect when at work, when dealing with service desk, is the ability to describe the issue in few words in our own language, almost like writing a tweet. So really needed here capability is smart ticketing, which will be able to understand the issue to automate many, many tasks here. And this is exactly what I mentioned on a previous slide when I showed you machine learning in a customer service. Then further, if we would then still, if you are still in the shoes of the end user, they may say, well, the resolution of my issues or tickets is still too slow. We know it is a human nature when you will need something, most probably that we think everything is urgent and very, very serious. So we need to get things fixed as soon as possible. So that means what really users today expect is the virtual agent. That means that the machine can interpret our intent and to allow us to do the self-help. We don't speak now here creating some virtual agent that will really mimic human soul that we are not aware. No. We all are used to virtual agents. We know that there is a lots of value. If the virtual agent can really provide me quickly or immediately answers to my issues that I don't need to wait, 24 hours or 48 hours and so on and so on. So what's really here needed and what can help is the virtual agent. Then the third, issue, or later on we will see use case, is the around the context-sensitive entity recognition. So here is the issue. Often there is a possibility we allow people or our users to attach some document, some image, but then in the end it's not being used to bring us to any resolution. And the reason is clear. We don't have enough people that will read, that will look into all these attachments. So what's now really needed is that capability which is called to automatically recognize the entities, to analyze documents, and we know technology is there, exists. Then the next use case is about is around problem management. So we know still very often it is a kind of semi-manual process. How from incidents, how we conclude when we have a problem. That means identifying that root cause of incidents, recognizing incidents with the same root cause for us people might be problematic. Consequences that the same incidents often are happening over and over again, and what really IT needs here is that system automatically analyzes data, all data that are available to IT, and will then tell or will show IT where to focus work, what needs to be done, maybe to certain things in IT to be automated, and concretely capability is called hot topic analytics, and we will then talk about those clustering and pattern recognition. Very, very powerful capability. And then the last use case, because we decided not to go any further to talk only about the 5 use cases, would be, again, many of our business users would say in general service quality is still low coming from our IT, despite ITIL, maybe some other frameworks, process automation, and so on. So, and we know what IT really would need if the system could analyze, again, all available data and predict or suggest actions so that IT can meet the desired performance. And now I will go into a little bit more details into these 5 needed capabilities. So the first one is, if you remember, is smart ticketing. From the end user perspective, means to enable users simple and fast submission. For the IT, it is really about the automatic classification, automatic ticket routing. That means for that the end users, that they can select, in which form they are submitting their issue, even if they want to attach maybe some picture, some image. But then really the key of that smart ticketing is the automatic classification that based on the analysis of the input that the end user provided, that the system is able to classify and in fact to create a ticket, and then also potentially to route to best team or to best agent. So from the technology, what we need and how does this work? So obviously, we need machine learning. We need that data of observation, because machine needs to observe how the human agents, how they are classifying tickets based on which parameters, based on which variables. Here OCR means simply the optical character recognition. In case if you are allowing users also to attach image, that means that we can semantically understand what's written on that picture, and through the process of training. During that training, agents will provide the feedback to machine about the accuracy, and after a certain period of time, when this goes into production, machine will continue to learn from more data. Results will be over time will be better and better. So it is powerful capability from the end user perspective. Benefits are easy, quickly open tickets. That means the satisfaction with this important workplace tool, like Service Desk is important, will go up, and also this feature drastically decreases manual work and also errors, and helps decrease the resolution time and costs. So use case number 2, or the capability number 2, is about virtual agents, and of course connected to that is the natural language processing. So some obvious, things that we have here. We have the support 24/7. Virtual agents can understand users' intent, can provide the personalized answers via chat, via live chats, or via emails. And typically, so virtual agent, and this is really from the concept, and even if you want implementation is really the same, like when we talked about the customer support. So virtual agent, we will be using it for a highly repetitive but easy to answer questions. We also know from everyday life, very often virtual agents are always used at the beginning of chat, and then depending if the conversation is getting more complex, then the virtual agent will be then transitioned to some human agent. But really, in ITSM, virtual agent, the use cases are these, what I'm calling evergreen tasks, such as password resets, outage inquiries. If the users are asking how to submit requests, like leave of absence, to update employee profiles, how do I file expense report, and similar. Now, how does this work? In order to understand users' intent, that means this is much now more than only understanding keywords. We need to apply natural language processing, or NLP. We'll understand the meaning. And then we need machine learning to train chatbot as the user interface we needed. We'll train this chatbot with more and more data that are coming in, and in the end, the key benefits is fewer tickets opened, better experience because user should be able to get the issues solved much faster. And in general, virtual agents are the big time savers, and because they are such time savers, service desk agents, they will have more time to spend on more meaningful work and on a more productive type of work. Okay, so use case number 3, context-sensitive entity recognition. So we know ITSM, we are not isolated practice. We are very well integrated, connected with all kind of other domains inside the IT operations management or also on the application side of house. And technology now really needs to help us to be even more or more seamlessly integrated with other systems. In particular, if you think about the CMDB, in situations or in places where maybe we humans would make mistakes, or when simply certain tasks would be too labor intensive. And you remember when we talked about the issue here, we said very often we allow people to attach different documents, even images and so on, or to write, some special additional comments. But then later on, we don't have time because this is so-called unstructured data. Nobody really, of course, has time to go and to analyze this. So here, the usage of the machine learning is that the system will automatically catch and associate these entities. And we know in ITSM, well, we call them, we have the general name configuration items, from the ticket or from the change description or from any other type of input, either coming from end users or coming from the IT agents. So then the agent can, for example, access information about configuration items by just clicking, as you can see here on the highlighted text. And this is very useful when planning involves large numbers of configuration items. For example, when entering or importing lists from spreadsheets or documents. And this named entity recognition is important in particular in change management, for example, because agents will be able to find more about these CIs just by clicking on that highlighted text. Okay, so this is one of my favorite use cases, hot topic analytics. I know that right now everybody is talking mostly around the virtual agent. I mean, if you would go and try, and type anything about virtual agent in Google, there is a really zillions of results you will get back. But in my opinion, really very, very powerful capability is the hot topic analytics. So we know that in ITSM and general support, we generate lots of data, relatively lots of data, and we generate more data than what we humans are able to analyze in some normal time so that our analysis would be useful. And with the hot topic analytics, we really help IT to identify patterns across all data, structured and unstructured, and information. And here is an example of that, how that hot topics looks like graphically. That means this is like a heat map, shows the segments where the segment size corresponds with the frequency of what our users or our customers, what are they demanding, with what are they searching, what are they ordering, where they are struggling. So, and this information then alerts agents to areas where users may need additional, let's say, education. Maybe we see that people are searching or maybe ordering or opening for a certain topic's tickets. Maybe we need additional knowledge articles, or maybe we need to educate our organization in some other way. But really, biggest benefit of the hot topic analytics is that it shows IT where to focus work. This is why we say turn data into actionable insights. We help IT understand maybe which areas need the automation. We know, well, from ITIL, of course, many incidents they may have the same root cause. And if we could know that quickly, then we will know, well, if we resolve one problem, then we will immediately resolve multiple incidents. So, and this is something where hot topic analytics, and you remember pattern recognition and that clustering can extremely well easily will discover these incident clusters with a common root cause, and will then, of course, significantly reduce time to identify and to resolve the problems. And that finding trends in data really makes IT more proactive. Now, from the enabling technology perspective, obviously, we do need machine learning, and this is the case where we are using unsupervised machine learning. LDA is one of the most popular right now algorithms that is used, and simply then this algorithm, LDA, which stands for the latent direct allocation, will analyze all data on a different types of documents or records. For example, what people are searching, what are they answering in their surveys, what they are requesting, and all of these then types of words will be treated in a different way, and algorithm will be learning more and more topics from all of these records, searches, survey answers, requests, and so on, and will in the end produce the hierarchy of topics, which is then presented in a heat map. And then it's up to you whether you want just the keywords, or if you want the full sentences or full phrases. So it is really depending on your situation. Very, very powerful capability, hot topic analytics. Use case number 5, prescriptive analytics for process improvement. So this is about putting analytics to work and make suggestions, what to change in environment in order to improve the outcomes. So we in ITSM, not only that we are producing lots of data, we also are a practice, we are dealing with we are defining, we are monitoring, we are managing lots of KPIs. It is not problematic that we understand the status of these KPIs, so where we are. And that means we can also know how far we are from our desired performance. What is much more difficult is really to understand what needs to be changed in the environment to programmatically to reach the desired performance without too many customizations, changes in the system when we might introduce then the failures on some other places. So so as soon as you have defined your KPIs, let's say for the SLM or maybe for the change management, here the analytics, plus we need semantic layer to understand the KPIs, is working on a principle. It will be observing, if we talk about changes, successful changes and unsuccessful changes. We'll try to understand what are the attributes that successful changes have, that these others do not have, and vice versa. And based on that, will give the suggestion what needs to be changed in the environment to increase the chance that the change next time is successful. So it's really the key benefit here of this type of change, management based then on the prescriptive analytics is much faster time to value. And now, if I can recap for this my part, so here I put these key benefits, and I hope that I mentioned all of them. If you want, most of them could be even applied to every niche of these 5 use cases. So please don't be now distracted and try to match the colors later on when you download this deck. So it is really about improved user experience, improved efficiency. When I say user experience, I mean really user experience of end users, but also the overall working experience of the service desk agents. We get, or users are opening a much less tickets. We will have more SLAs met, less manual work, reduced costs as the obvious consequence of many other things. So this is everything I wanted to tell you from this, let's say, theoretical part about the machine learning and analytics in ITSM. And I would like now to turn over to my colleague Steve to tell you something about our product called SMAX. Steve?
Thank you, Vesna. So Service Management Automation X, or SMAX, provides an engaging and innovative user experience for interacting with IT and other service desks via mobile devices, chatbots, smart email, or through an intuitive-to-use web-based self-service portal. SMAX combines 3 key application areas into a single solution: IT Service Management, IT Asset Management, and Enterprise Service Management, or ESM. ITSM and ITAM are delivered out of the box in SMAX and can easily be extended in a codeless manner using the SMAX Studio. ESM is based on out-of-the-box content such as HR workflow management, ideation and proposal management, and portfolio optimization. These can be easily extended or complemented with brand new content using the SMAX Studio. And as a note, Micro Focus was recently named a leader in the Forrester ESM Wave. You can find a copy of the report on our webpage, which is linked in the attachments and links section of your webinar screen. Smart Service Management provides capabilities like Smart Ticket, which uses an optical character recognition, or OCR, and machine learning system to automatically accept and route service requests to the appropriate team. Virtual agents provide automated assistance with integrated live chat or email to enhance continuous customer support. Hot Topic Analytics, as Vesna was talking about, uses advanced search and analytics capabilities to enable you to view and analyze patterns in incidents, requests, and other records, and to create knowledge articles or problem records based on those patterns. Change Analytics offers insights based on the existing change data and provides suggestions for improvement in the change management process. Collaboration via ChatOps allows agents to share knowledge across teams for fast issue resolution. The Intuitive Service Desk provides a single digital self-service experience for IT and non-IT services with native mobile applications, virtual agents or bots, and social collaboration for superior user satisfaction and increased autonomy of the end users. Social collaboration features include the ability to vote, ask a friend, and respond to surveys to help end users source answers from the community and enhance end user autonomy. On-the-fly translation provides end users with access to portal content and service desk updates in their preferred language. Native mobile applications on Android and iOS complement the web service portal with a streamlined native interface that focuses on key tasks that need to be managed on the go. And this solution is built on top of the ITOM platform, which allows it to run in different environments ranging from bare metal to virtual and public cloud, including AWS and Microsoft Azure solutions. Based on container technology, customers can easily move the solution from one environment to another as business conditions change. The ITOM platform also brings a number of shared services into SMAX and other ITOM solutions, such as identity management, license and access management, DevOps lifecycle, task automation, discovery and UCMDB, machine learning and analytics, dashboard functionality, and reporting. Deployment of multiple tenants per installation enables service providers to host and manage environments for multiple customers with a single user interface. And upgrades are automatic and fast with a quick time to value and low total cost of ownership. So with that overview, let's look at some of these features in more detail. So starting with Vesna, and Vesna's favorite and one of my favorites, Hot Topic Analytics. So you can see here, this is a screenshot of the SMAX system. So Hot Topic Analytics is applied in a number of areas in SMAX. In this case, we're looking at it in the context of knowledge management. And we are able to search a few different repositories of data in order to identify patterns. So in this case, we're looking at questions that end users have submitted. we're analyzing those and automatically grouping them based on the terms that are found and how they're related together. So we can see the patterns of user searches. We could also look at our user questions in this screenshot. We could look at the searches that they're executing through the service portal. We can also look at requests. All of those, we can look at the patterns. Then we can select one or more of those and use those in order to create either a knowledge article, so that's an action we can take, or a catalog offering, a new offering in our service catalog. So we can see the counts, we can see the patterns, we can drill in and look at the individual records that are behind any of these blocks, colored blocks that show up in the hot topic map. This is also applied in for problem management, looking at the incident database, so we can see the pattern of the incidents that are occurring. We could do additional filtering on top of that if we need to, and narrowing it in. And then we can identify maybe several incidents that should be grouped and analyzed together through the problem management process. So that enables us to target those typically lower severity incidents that have a larger number, that don't warrant individual problem investigation. Problem investigations typically have a limited budget. So if we can group a number of incidents together, it's more easy to get the justification to investigate that. Hopefully that will result in identifying the root cause and then opening a change to get that resolved and keep those type of incidents from occurring in the future. Let's move on to the next one. So here we have Smart Change Analytics. This is our Change Analytics dashboard. And really what we're looking at here, so yes, we display a KPI and we can see how we're doing compared to our goal. But the really interesting thing is when we get down and we look at the recommended improvements. So how can you improve? And we look at the data in this actual system, and we determine based on the pattern of how many changes are open for a particular service and how often those changes are not successful, where targeted investment can be made in order to have the largest impact on this KPI. So in this case, success rate. So if we are able to improve our success rate on changes for the Exchange service, we could increase our success rate by up to 10% based on our failure rate of those changes and on the number of changes for that service. But then we might wonder, well, what can I do in order to improve my change management process? I know I'm not where I want to be, but what should I do in order to make it better? So that's where we have this panel that opens up. So what can you do to improve? So in this case, we take the pattern. So we group changes in the system into two groups. We say, all right, all the changes that were not successful are in one side, all the changes that are successful on the other. And then we analyze the attributes of those populations of changes and see where we see the largest difference between those populations. And in this example, so we found three areas that are different. So the presence of a build and test plan. So successful changes were more likely to have that. Successful changes were more likely to have the involved CIs populated, and were more likely to have an execution test plan. So if you put process improvements in place in order to make those things more likely to happen, then you should see a corresponding increase in your success rate. And so our intuitive service desk. So here's a screenshot of our service portal. And this is really the entrance point for those end users. And it needs to be a very engaging experience in order to get the end users to want to come to your portal, to not contact you in other ways. So if we can get them to come into the portal, then we can really tie them into a lot of these other capabilities utilizing machine learning that if they just call into the service desk, they're not likely to get access to those. So we have the idle-based intelligent search to bring them back mixed results of knowledge and the catalog. They can go into the virtual agent experience and request what they need, and the system will respond back to them with suggestions of what could help them, be it knowledge articles or specific offerings from the catalog. And all of these things are really built into this portal, and they're going to get a lot more responsive help if they're coming into here, so we want to have them in here or through the native mobile app, which is very similar to this interface. And then we have our codeless configuration, or SMAC Studio and Easy Upgrade. So machine learning in general and is a rapidly evolving space overall. And definitely we see that also in the IT service management space, that the uses of machine learning are going to be rapidly evolving as vendors build out additional capabilities, as new use cases are identified. So it's very important that when you are using a tool, that you're able to make the configuration changes that you need easily and quickly, and that they are able to be carried forward to new versions of the product as we come out with new releases. So we are a fully codeless system. You're able to configure the existing ITSM, ITAM, and ESM processes using these codeless configuration capabilities of SMAC Studio and extend it into other processes as well, creating your own tables, workflows, business rules. And those are carried forward so you can always be updated to the latest version and get the latest new machine learning capabilities and other features that we're releasing. So just a quick overview of service management automation and SMACs in particular. So we have machine learning and analytics to help get the end users to the right information quickly and hopefully lower some of the tick volume for your service desk and result in faster resolution time. We have the smart self-service and social collaboration features to get them, allow our end users to help themselves. And if they can find the information and get the help quickly themselves, then they're going to be happier and more productive. We have a modern user experience, which is what users, both end users and agents, expect in this day and age. And we have our codeless configuration for fast configuration, low total cost of ownership, and easing the ability to upgrade and always be on the latest version. And you can see our link down there on the bottom, which is also in the attachments and links section of your webinar interface. And with that, I will turn it back to Vesna and Roy for, I think, to cover questions.
Thank you, Steve. Great job. So we do have some questions coming up. I would ask that as you're listening to the responses to the questions, you take a moment to rate today's webinar. It's very helpful as we go forward to help tell us how we did and what we could do better in the future. So just take a moment to do that. And let's talk about some questions. We have a few. How can machine learning help in incident management to problem management? Can the transition be automated? And I presume that means how can tickets be grouped together as incidents, as Steve alluded to, and how can these systems facilitate that?
Right. So I believe that the question was asked during my part. I hope that Steve, when he showed how the hot topic analytics works, hope that this now got a little bit more clear. So really, here the system can detect the common root causes for not only one incident. That means for multiple incidents, And then Steve, he showed, at least in our system, we can then automatically, literally, with a clicking on a button, we can, from a multiple incidents or as many as needed, the system will automatically create the problem. And because now we know what's that common root cause, then we know what we need to do to resolve the problems. So yes, definitely this transition can be automated.
Thank you. Next question, is it possible to analyze text from attachments to detect configuration items for changes? And I think you touched on that as well.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Steve, if you want, to take this one, no problem. Sure.
Yeah. So I didn't cover it in my part, but it was covered in Vesna's section. So we have a feature called Fast CI detection that looks at various fields in the change record, and will pattern match from the text that's in there to the SACA module, the configuration items themselves, and automatically add them as structured data to the change. And the description field, for example, in change management is a rich text field. So if you have, say, an email that has all the list of servers that you're going to be that you want to be included as part of a change, you can take that and paste it into the description rich text. So it's really anything that you would have as an attachment you can put into the description. It'll automatically find and match those CIs, add them to the structured data of the change.
Great, thank you. Is knowledge management important to get started with training these machines and keeping them up to date with changes in the organization's information and knowledge?
I would say it depends on your use case. So first of all, we know, yes, knowledge management is always a plus. Now, when we speak, for example, if you would like to automate, let's say, transition, from incidents to problem, you don't need the knowledge management, or also for smart ticketing. You can implement smart ticketing without even having knowledge management. Now, would knowledge management help you so that people don't open a ticket, so that it's not the only option for people always opening the ticket? Knowledge management helps, but it's not mandatory to start with machine learning.
Yeah, so the one that I had a similar thought on that, Vesna. The one area where I think knowledge management is really important is around virtual agents, because one of the primary things that you want a virtual agent, at least in the context of an end user, is to get those users to knowledge. And the better your knowledge base is, the more effective your virtual agent is going to be in getting them to be able to self-help and not just end up either chatting with an agent or opening a ticket that goes to the service desk.
Great, thank you. What do you think the impact of automation, including AI and machine learning, on the service desk or support center? What will the required skills change?
Well, I assume so. More if I understand a question correctly, is whether now machine learning and the automation through machine learning, whether potentially will take jobs away from people. So now this is not ideally my expertise. It will definitely, and it should, free up people, from some really, I would say, annoying, tasks, some repetitive, low-level answering questions, dealing with that sort of tickets. So I believe so that everybody, any human, will then have more time for more meaningful work. Whether now machines will take away some of the jobs, probably yes. And I would hope, it is really to hope, that the companies in such situation will look at the more at the opportunity then to help people to update their skills, not necessarily to deal with these machines and to help them train, but maybe simply to do something else in the in organization. But I don't right now, when we speak about ITSM, I don't see yet that's very, very dramatic. I have to say, so virtual agents are relatively new in our domain, ITSM. Many vendors are now starting, to implement. But it may take maybe a couple of years until really industry and companies until they adopt it.
I think I'll ask a little bit of a follow-up to that. So I think the question is revolving around the skills that are required to support people, and as AI and machine learning take hold in the industry, it would seem logical that more of the things that the people are going to be asked to do are more complex, and therefore their skills need to change. That was the basis of the question: is will the required skills change? So not so much job loss, but skills differences. Do you have comments on that?
Yeah, so for the service desk and support center specifically, I actually see this as something that as the machine learning capabilities get better and as we're able to refine the use cases, we should be able to better support those people in getting them the technical information they need to help their customers, their users. So I could actually see that maybe in some cases the technical skills for those frontline people maybe don't need to be as high, and maybe a more of an emphasis placed on the soft skills around how do you deal with customers and how do you speak with them the right way. Another possibility is that we get so good at routing the tickets to the experts that for particular areas we end up involving people with greater domain knowledge for particular requests. We don't have to go through as many layers of the service desk. We can get to the domain experts right away, which maybe you could see it as that person needs to be higher skilled, but really you're just bypassing the lower skilled layers in the organization. In the organization overall, as these things come in, I think there will be some people, not probably people on the service desk, that need to have better understanding of how these things work, how they're put together in order to take optimal advantage of them. But I think it's somewhat on us and the other vendors to make that easy for organizations to consume and utilize these exciting features.
Thank you. Question on the tools themselves. What is the interoperability of these tools? Do they work with many ITSM platforms?
I believe this was also a question asked while I was speaking. So I know that many vendors of ITSM solutions that they are applying and really the solutions are more and more based on machine learning. So typically they are so implemented that they are either work only on that proprietary platform of a vendor, or maybe they can be implemented on tools like Skype and so on. I'm not now sure that I understand. So maybe Steve, you can help me. So you saw when Steve when he was explaining how it works in our solution, we can integrate with other tools. Or maybe did you see, or maybe was it the question that this would be like independent, solution or like add-on that can be then installed on the, let's say, service desk? Is that maybe was that the question?
Yeah, that's how I interpret the question.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ro, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the key word I think is interoperability. So does it, do you have hooks that will attach to other platforms, or is it proprietary to you? I think was really the gist of the question.
Yeah, so most of our features are designed to be integrated into our user experience, and some things like Hot Topic Analytics, you could import data from another system, and then the system would analyze it just like data that was created there. What I'm seeing in general is that most of the vendors are building these tools specific to their platforms, but really there's no reason that a lot of these techniques couldn't be developed outside and interoperate with or be integrated into a number of different tools. That's not the trend I'm seeing at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Well, that about wraps it up for today. Thank you very much to Vesna Sarajic and Steve Anderson, and to our sponsor, Micro Focus, and to all of you for attending. And we're always happy to see you here. And we look forward to seeing you at our Customer Service Week webinar with Jeff Toyster on October 3rd. This webcast is copyright 2018 by United Business Media, LLC. The presentation materials are owned by or copyrighted, if that's the case, by HDI, which is solely responsible for its content, and the individual speakers are responsible for their content and opinions. On behalf of HDI, thanks for your time and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.